Could Mike Washington Jr. be the lightning to this thunderous running back room here in Houston alongside Woody Marks and David Montgomery?
You are Locked On Texans, your daily podcast on the Houston Texans. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Battle Red Nation, from H-Town to your town. Today's episode and every episode of the Locked On Texans podcast is for Texan fans all around. It's been a weird couple of days. Titus Howard gets traded out. David Montgomery gets traded in. So I hadn't been able to drop the prospects for Houston series as I've been doing, but I'm back. And today it's all about Mike Washington Jr. Should the Texans swing on Mike Washington Jr., who honestly it feels like could be a pipe dream at this point after his combine ran at 4.3, 6'2", 220. Like what he could possibly be and look like at the next level could be scary in the right scheme and fit. And so before David Montgomery, it was a reality that he could possibly be in Houston. But now it feels like it is no longer a reality. It's just daydreaming. So we're going to talk about that. I see a lot of you guys have enjoyed the prospect series that I've been dropping as additional bonus coverage. I've been seeing a lot of you guys coming along with the thought of Grayson Halton, D-tackle out of Oklahoma, being a Houston Texan. And trust me when I say this, the first 3 picks in this year's draft will be a defensive tackle. Grayson Halton, who has done a very good job in the last 2 seasons at Oklahoma, getting after the quarterback. He's improved getting after the stopping the run as well. He's an interesting name. But back to the man who kind of blew everybody away with his run, the 40 time, and also just the post 40 time reaction of him dropping in tears and understanding that, his life is about to change. Mike Washington, thank you for making Locked On Texans your first listen of the day and for being a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And I am your Texans credential media member and football analyst, John Hickman. Like I mentioned before, man, Mike Washington Jr., respect to the father, 4.3 40, 6'2", 223, 17 carries of 15 or more yards, including 3.86 yards after the contact. The speed is real. Sometimes the speed doesn't translate to the field with some players. Like they run a blazing 40 time, but when you put them on the field, it's just kind of like you're super fast, but you ain't getting the ball and you're not getting no feeling. You're not doing anything with the ball because you can't get the ball because you're not able to get open. Or whenever you get on the field, you miss assignments, you miss running lanes. That's not the case with Mike Washington. The open field for Mike Washington Jr. this past year at Arkansas was his playground. Was absolutely his playground, and the speed showed. And he did fumble 3 times this past season, 10 in his collegiate career. And we understand that once you get to the next level, you only got so many times to fumble before they put you on the bench, and you stew on the bench until you're an afterthought. Taking care of the ball is priority 1, especially for running backs that will be looked to be taken in the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th round, where you don't have the luxury of being a first-round pick. You don't have the luxury of being an Adrian Peterson or a Jahmyr Gibbs or Bijan Robinson. Like those guys can afford a hiccup or 2. Those later round day 2, day 3 picks, they don't afford that. They can't afford that. So at the next level, if I look at negatives for his game, it's absolutely his ability to hold on to the ball or lack thereof. He has to become better in that. For the year prior, 3 this past season, 10 all around, if that becomes an issue when he gets to the NFL, no matter how fast he is, he'll be regulated to special teams, and that's going down there to get a tackle. And you'll see a decrease in run opportunities if he cannot hold on to that ball. Really quick, let's take a quick break, and we'll come right back with some more Locked On Texans talk as I continue to look at my draft prospects for the Houston Texans.
Hey, it's Matt Derry from the Locked On Lions podcast. The people I love depend on me. If I'm gone, the financial responsibilities don't disappear. I didn't want my family figuring things out during the hardest moment of their lives. That's why I knew only one place to go. I chose life insurance through my friends at Ethos. Ethos makes getting life insurance fast and easy, 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. There's no medical exam. You just answer a few simple health questions. You can get up to $3 million in coverage. Some policies are as low as $30 a month. I love the folks at Ethos. Protect your family with life insurance from Ethos now by going to ethos.com/LockedOnNFL. In as little as 10 minutes, you can get the free quote and up to $3 million in coverage at ethos.com/LockedOnNFL. That is ethos.com/LockedOnNFL. Ethos.com/LockedOnNFL. Application times and rates may vary.
And Texan fans, listen, it's important to let you guys know today's episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. March is a time to celebrate women, especially around International Women's Day, and to recognize just how much they carry at work, in relationships, and families, and in all the unseen roles that they step into every single day. It's easy to celebrate their strength, but it's just important to make space for their emotional well-being. And honestly, that goes for all of us. I think about my wife and how much she carries without saying how much she's carrying, and it makes me think about how many of us are doing the same thing. The roles we play, the expectations we carry, the pressure we don't always talk about. Therapy can help with all of that, creating balance, setting healthy boundaries, and supporting your overall well-being with over 30,000 licensed therapists and more than 6 million, people served worldwide. BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, and it works. Fill out a short questionnaire, get matched with a licensed therapist, and if it's not the right fit the first go around, pick yourself up and try again. You can switch therapists at any time. Your emotional well-being matters. Find support and feel lighter in therapy. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/locked-on. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/locked-on. As we continue to look at Mike Washington Jr., the man with the juice right now. Listen, now, when I look at what he presents as a running back, he's not afraid to bounce it out and stick his foot down on the ground, in the ground, to cut up, right? Doesn't dance around a lot, doesn't second guess his cuts. Once he plants, he is decisive with his next move and is normally getting upfield, but I also like his ability to run east and west. So you look at some of those toss plays, zone play, outside zone plays, or maybe plays that may just break down. He has made something out of nothing sometimes, but he also just does a good job of making sure that he's getting to a spot where you can't beat him. Sometimes he runs a little too high, so that 6'2" frame that he has feels like at moments is not a superpower to lean on, especially when I look at while he's in between the hole, right? Unlike his speed. So before he gets to the second level, if the contact and everything is pressuring down around him, you don't see the 6'2" frame. What you see is a 4.3 40 to avoid defenders and get upfield, which is demonstrated frequently. And what I do love is he doesn't outrun his setup blocks. So you really see that 6'2" pop off against secondary defenders and arm tacklers. Once he gets to the second and third level, a safety is not going to really bring him down. Depending on the linebacker, a wheel side linebacker, he's not going to really bring him down. The best time for you to bring him down is when you can meet him in the hole. And you have to meet him in the hole before he recognizes you breaking down, because he'll use that speed to move around you. So again, like, he's 6'2", 220, big cat, big young man, right? And typically, okay, you'll look for a bruiser, quote unquote bruiser, when you get those type of physical traits. But no, he will outrun you. The Texas game was probably the first time I watched him this past year, and I was just like, oh yeah, who is this kid? Why can't we do anything about him? Why can't we stop him? And he had multiple games like that throughout the year where it just feels like, hey, yo, it's 8 yards per carry here, 7 yards per carry here, 6 yards per carry here. He's a really good runner. Scouts have said that he plays with a chip on his shoulder. Pass protection is a concern. I mean, he graded out badly, and the grades match the tape. He can be better in that area in his game. And honestly, for the Houston Texans fans out there, if you're looking for a saving grace for him to fall, it would be because it's pass blocking, where because of his limited playing time, like, he's a fifth-year senior, spent time at Buffalo right before getting to Arkansas. So he's played some collegiate ball, but he hadn't had a lot of those opportunities. And it feels like teams, when they put him out there on the field, they recognize what he's really good at. We'll refine stuff maybe later, but we need for you to do what you're good at. And he done it. He's done it multiple times in his career. But when I look at what could fail him moving forward, it's absolutely his pass blocking. It's something that you do that you guys will like. He doesn't possess a juke move. Okay, he doesn't possess a juke move, but you see all of these long runs downfield. What's going on? It's not juke moves that allow for him to be dangerous. It's just his outright speed. I mean, he'll beat you with his burners and won't get too cute. First one to the spot wins, and in 2025, he was the first running back or first player to the spot. So if he's running at an angle and the defender's running at that same angle, he's getting to where he needs to go to cut up field to avoid being brought down early more times than not, and that resulted in a large chunk of gains. Does he fit Houston and what the Houston Texans need? Absolutely. Many people are calling him a diamond in the rough. We'll get more from him during his March 13th pro day. We'll see a little bit more, a lot more actually. The fact is, before the combine, the Texans might have had a chance to get him, but now Washington is viewed as a round 2 or 3 pick now, and those chances could improve with a solid pro day. But adding Washington, just the thought of adding Washington Jr. to this backfield would absolutely complete the backfield in a major way. Houston lacks that top end speed in that room. There were runs last year where, and I want to say one of the games that really stood out was the Buffalo Bills game, where it feels like if Marks had a little bit more juice, he's taking certain runs to the house. Now, you miss Joe Mixon in those moments. Joe Mixon ain't coming back. And I think even with what David Montgomery presents and not being as banged up as maybe a Joe Mixon was coming to Houston, there is something worth saying and something worth having when you got a guy that just got outright burners. And so with Houston lacking speed in that room, Mike Washington would absolutely improve that and provide the speed that they need. The only way I see Houston getting Washington is to completely limit their the only way I see Houston getting Washington is to completely limit their quarterback by being able to hand off the ball to really limit mistakes from the quarterback perspective. So I think it would be a mistake to draft a Washington in the second round. But if Houston does something like that, what I'm getting at is that's very telling of how they feel about their quarterback. Very telling. We got 3 running backs we're going to hand the ball off to. The last thing you want to see is Houston turn C.J. Stroud into Mac Jones, right? And a Woody Marks, a Montgomery, and an early day 2 pick. Not that I wouldn't like Washington. Not if I didn't feel like, okay, maybe Houston can sneak up in the third somehow or maneuver the board to get him in the third round. Like, I wouldn't be against that in totality. Maybe if he slips to the top of the fourth, maybe then you'll look to go get him. But if they get him in like the second round or top of the third, that would just tell me how they view their quarterback. That means we want to be a running team and we want our quarterback to be a game manager. And that'll bring us to the conversation. Do you pay that game manager? Do you? Huh? But I like Washington a lot. I just think that he's going to test himself out of a chance to be in Houston. But we will see. Thank you for watching this draft prospect episode of the Locked On Texan podcast. Please be sure to subscribe, like, and comment on YouTube and wherever you listen to your podcast. Until next time, ladies and gents, and Texan fans across the nation. Peace.